Welcome back to Heal, a podcast for Change by Fire, healing, empowering, accepting, and living. I'm Julie Piccone, founder of Change by Fire and the Arizona Walk of Courage, and I am one of your hosts.
And my name is Lori Janik, and I'm a 15-year burn advocate, social worker, and current grief and trauma therapist.
Last episode, we had a great opportunity to interview Chrissy Shaver, one of the founders of Live Well Training Center. We got to talk about trauma recovery and the different supports that the Live Well Training Center has to support burn survivors and their families. We learned about the definition of trauma, the impact it can have on yourself and safety, and different trauma-informed healing that is available. She shared a great takeaway tool around moving your body, listening to our body and moving it and doing what it needs. We'd love to hear how you've been utilizing that technique and that advice, and perhaps your thoughts and further understanding of trauma and how it has affected you and your loved ones or those around you.
Today, we're going to step into our last and final episode around alternative healing modalities. Even though there are so many more discovered, there is no way we could possibly put everything in this podcast season or even the seasons beyond surrounding that. Today, we're going to talk about music. So music is a unique way of really supporting and working with what we take into our bodies surrounding sound, how we utilize sound to settle and soothe our systems. And we're going to explore it a little bit with our guest speaker today. And so come with us through this journey of discovery with sound and tone. Let's get healing. So how familiar are you with music, Julie? How what do you know about music? How do you use music in your life?
I love music. I love turning it on in the morning, some 80s music or maybe some 90s music, like reflecting back memories of like my earlier days. I love listening to calming music while I work. My nervous system tends to get a little more stimulated during the workday. So having that balance of some more calming music. I love, different music therapy when it comes to like sound healing, utilizing the different sounds of whether it's instruments or different, I think of like, bodies of water or different sounds. I think it's all just so soothing and I love music. What about you?
Similar to me, music is a regular and daily part of every single day of my life. And I think has been as long as I've lived. I grew up around music. Our family was really big with instruments, with learning how to play music. Definitely, I grew up in a very large family. So there's lots of sounds and music revolves around sound. We did, kind of. And I utilize music a lot with my children. I'm a big believer in just how sounds and tones just really settle and work with soothing and supporting your emotions, your nervous system through wherever it may need to go and grow. And really, that's what we're going to have an opportunity to talk more on today. Music, really simply put, is an art form that combines sounds. So sounds being, voice or through instruments, different arrangements, different harmonies, really to convey different emotions, different ideas, different experiences. That's probably what makes it so palpable to so many. And because of the variety of ways to really make and create sounds in this world, and if you know of the varieties of ways to make and create sounds, any of you with children, we all know that toddlers and teenagers and different age populations can bring in different sounds and really kind of teach you about the breadth of sounds that exist in this world. There's a lot of different types and combinations to utilize. And music can be melodic. It can have a sense of pattern. It can have a sense of rhythm. It can provide a sense of harmony, togetherness, even a sense of color and kind of richness, depth. And it's just as various, I really feel, as the human race. There's so many different types of music, sound, tones, modalities, and it's utilized in cultures in so many different ways. and just create a sense of connection, a sense of unity, just uniqueness and styles and values.
Yep, I love that. And knowing what we know about music and how it can really affect what and how we take in sounds, and really how we can connect when we hear certain music, inspiring different emotions, maybe different positive memories. It's no wonder that there is a healing modality built around this,
Well, of course. How could you not have one?
right?
So, again, going to our definitions, we're talking today about music therapy. So, if we go to our definitions of music therapy, now I'm just taking this from the Association of Music Therapy in general, just clinical and evidence based use of music interventions to accomplish some really individualized goals within a therapeutic relationship by a credentialed music therapy professional. That's a lot of big words. So, basically, the use of music and sound with people in healing to affect some sense of change towards where they're wanting to go and grow. And music therapy interventions or activities, supports around music therapy have really been shown. I mean, there's a whole association around them. This has been studied, this has been clinically studied and documented to help with wellness, to promote stress reduction, to promote pain reduction, to help with memory enhancement, help communication, share and really understand feelings, support compliance in healing tasks. A lot of things here. And music therapy can be coordinated individually or in small groups. It can be coordinated in hospital settings, in clinic settings, in camp settings, in hospice and rehabilitation, in school settings, and just giving a sense of connection, a sense of choice, a sense of creativity that many don't get in their healing journeys. Knowing what I know about music therapy, and I've been fortunate enough to have some sense of music therapy in work in my previous careers and even in my current career. And just a little bit about mind-body connection. Music therapy directly plays into this. So how music, how sounds hit kind of the auditory channels, the nerves in our ears process through our body, can really affect our nervous system and create a sense of safety, a sense of settling, a sense of soothing. And especially individuals who have been through any element of trauma, they take in sound differently in their system. And music therapists can utilize this idea, this concept, and support just kind of the connection and the moving through of emotions, of moving from maybe more danger cue readings that are coming in and being interpreted to more of a sense of connection, understanding, calmness, creation through play. And this is exactly what our guests today have experience with and being a part of for years. So I'm really excited that Cindy Steen is here with us today. And she's a music therapy that's been really active and involved in the communities in a variety of different avenues and parameters. And I've known her, it's been a long time. It's been since I was a child life specialist at the hospital, huh?
That's right. It has been a long time.
It is so wonderful to have you here. And thank you for joining us.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Cindy.
Thank
And
you.
we would love to learn more about your role as a music therapist and the use of music therapy in a variety of settings and impacts in the community, whether that's through camps, whether that's through retreats, mission work, group settings in hospitals, with kids and adults. So if you could share a little bit with us.
Absolutely. I feel very fortunate in being a music therapist because I've been able to be involved in so many different aspects of healing. Some of the places I've worked at a big, huge music center, the biggest in the nation in Minneapolis, where we worked with children with trauma, developmental disabilities, autism, and so forth. And this went all the way up from age 1 to 91. I had Alzheimer's patient that was 91, and he had his own music therapy sessions weekly. So that was beautiful. Also at this school, we did outreach. So we did a traumatic brain injury hospital, hospice, and I worked at 9 different independent assisted livings throughout the cities. that incorporated not only children and the older adults, but it was families and groups. And so bringing that whole community into the music therapy setting.
Wonderful.
I love that. Love, love, love that. So what kind of navigated your choice to become a music therapist? How did you pick that as a role, as a profession? I mean, like, I know many people commonly think, oh, teacher, or doctor, or various, like, that's not one that automatically comes up to people.
But it
So
sure does sound fun.
it does.
It is fun. Well, my story is so unique because I had many different careers before I started this. So I was actually a teacher from elementary all the way to college. And then I opened my own dance and music studio. And then after my children graduated from high school and went on, I volunteered as just someone that volunteered to go into the University of Minnesota Cancer Ward. And this is when I just used music, the songs I knew for like positive mood changes, creating normalcy. And it was at this point, 12 years ago, that I decided to get the clinical master's of music therapy. So my story's a little different. And I'm so happy that I did.
I love that though, because I mean, you've had an opportunity to really be in an educational setting and kind of experience kind of like, honestly, movement, I feel, is very much music in the body and kind of creating that sense of kind of like connection with the body. And then you had a chance to kind of explore and utilize it on your own and really kind of like, this is really what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. And it was such a change from like being in the role of a teacher and more behavioral, and you're going to do it this way, and this is what we're going to teach you, to really listening to that patient or that client, that friend, and meeting that person in the moment, and kind of bringing about positive social, emotional feeling at the end of each session, and setting that patient or that client or that family up for success.
Yep. It sounds like your journey prior to music therapy really prepared and paved the way for you to have this role in music therapy as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. What kind of interventions do you use in music therapy? Can you give us a few examples to just help us and our listeners understand the value and impact of what you do?
Sure. As music therapists, we have so many interventions. That's why I feel like our role is so diverse. And as you talked about, like music in your life with your children and listening to older music. Sometimes we make these beautiful playlists that patients can really relate to, clients can. So it's maybe we do a courage playlist, or maybe we do a playlist that say someone's very angry. What are the different songs we can use till we finally get to a sense of calm? So we can make playlists like that. Other interventions we do are maybe a patient needs to release some anxiety and stress. So maybe we choose drumming. And that is a healthy, positive way to release stress and anger. And it also regulates the brain, is that neuroplasticity helps our brains relax. Maybe we have a patient that wants to tell their story. Maybe they tell it. Maybe they write a poem. Maybe they have written a letter to tell their story. Maybe they've journaled. And then maybe we put it together in a song and help that patient tell their story through a song. Other times when we're working with older adults or camps or groups, we try to use a variety of music therapy. So again, you talked about movement. Yes, we love to move and we love to dance and we love to sing. Maybe we learn to play an instrument, or maybe we're just silly. So just meeting each patient. Everybody likes to have fun, and we set each patient, each camper, whoever we're working with, trying to set them up for success.
I love that.
Well, it's very similar. It's again, this is something I'm getting from a lot of a lot of our alternative therapy modalities. It's the meeting whoever they are, where they're at, and kind of orchestrating what they're needing to kind of find and really build that sense of whole self after an injury. Very similar here. It's like some individuals may be able to participate in creating a playlist. Other people may be on a platform like, I just am so stressed out over my dressing change or after this big surgery. I just need to get my aggression out. So let's bring in the drums. So I love this avenue of just like individualizing and catering activities to wherever someone may be coming from in their specific.
Well, and it's not a one size fits all. You know, we talked about that as well. You know, when it comes to holistic alternative healing modalities, it's not a one size fits all. Something may work for one and not the other.
Absolutely.
Some people may have preferences, some may have different preferences. And so meeting that patient where they're at and building a toolkit of different recommendations and different supports to help them along the way.
Absolutely. And I think that we really want that person to feel emotional safety. And once they do, then they're able to express themselves, and we can use those tools to help them cope.
Well, and empowering them to make the choice of what they're needing.
Yes.
You know, you're able to provide variety, but allowing them that choice. And when it comes to some of their healing, they don't have a choice if they're having a dressing change or not, or if they're going to have this surgery or not. Like, there's things that have to be done to help support their healing, but this gives them that sense of choice. And I think that's really important.
And it's so important to have that sense of choice. And that's what's so beautiful about using music and in a therapeutic aspect. Yeah.
Love that.
You really, I imagine, like, you've worked in such a variety of settings and different contexts and opportunities. What have you seen with some of your individual work with clients? Like, can you share with us like a story or so about, you know, a music therapy support or activity that you've done and how a client has experienced that?
Yes. One of my patients at the burn center was amputated from the waist down, and also became blind due to some medications he was given, I think, for the infection. And what was so beautiful about him is he would always say, music uplifts my soul. And it just gives me so much joy. And it really did bring me to tears that this young man actually couldn't even see anymore, but yet he could sit in his room at the burn center and have some friends around him and music therapy. And we could give him a piano, and he would be able to feel those keys, and he would be able to sing, and he was still able to find joy throughout all the pain and throughout wondering, what am I going to do next? He was able to really be in the present moment. And that's one story of a patient that is always like, I see this vision of this young man showing the power of what music does for his soul.
I remember particularly that patient you're talking about, which is probably why I'm grinning like so ear to ear.
Yes.
You were the light of this young man's hospital stay and beyond. He was such and remains such a music empowered person. And what a terrifying complication surrounding an injury, to lose someone's sight, to lose someone's limbs, to lose someone's proficiency to do and engage in the things that are so meaningful and valuable. And having a keyboard brought in and having the opportunity to sing and kind of create a song, and just, the level of courage and hope that brought into his healing path. I mean, this is one of those life-changing moments, I have to imagine, for you and in your role in your work, because this young man remembers you.
Yes, it really was life-changing. Just that's when you know that the therapy of just music and letting him choose the songs he sang and the songs that brought him closer to home and family and gave him courage to fight through it all.
Well, I love how his family and his friends were able to be there to take part in, that healing. Because not every one of the healing modalities, that we help support at Change by Fire would be something where you could have a group of people there with you. But music therapy is that, where they can all come together and encourage and provide hope and do this together. And I think that that's beautiful, because for them, even as the participant, I'm sure they gained a lot of hope in that experience as well.
Absolutely. Yes. It helps the families just as much as the patients, for sure.
Absolutely. So, for an individual who's walked through trauma or burn injury, are there any insights you can provide to exploring their inner landscape in a new way through sound and music therapy?
Sure. I think, depending on each client or each patient or each person, we're meeting each patient every day, every time we step into a conversation with them in a sacred space. And remembering that it's not all about what I might have planned or what I might think, but being able to step into their sacred space and giving them what they need at that particular time. So it might be more receptive music making, where we're listening and we're talking about the lyrics and which lyrics are standing out to them today. It might be lyrics of healing, and it might also be lyrics of pain. They're sharing a song. They want to hear a song that describes their pain. And then we're able to take those lyrics apart and talk about it. It may be doing more of a mindful meditation, using more of our expressive art. So we might tie in a mandala and let a patient create little pieces of the lyrics and colors, and bringing in more of that expressive art with our lyrics. Or it could be really wild, and we might be drumming and following drumming prompts, or quietly learning a song on the ukulele. So, like I said, it just depends on entering that person's sacred space for that day and seeing what they really feel like doing, and using our intuition, I think, as to what that patient might like. And oftentimes it might be giving them a couple of choices, because that patient may not know what they want to do. So giving them a couple of choices is also helpful.
I love how
Yeah.
you mentioned like the song creation that you've done as an activity and in music healing and music supports. And I remember a burn survivor that you did some of that with. And I also know that you sometimes record some of the things that with your survivors, obviously with their permission. And might that be something that you'd be willing to share?
Oh, absolutely, I would. I'd love to talk about one of our burn survivors that came in. I believe is about a 9-year-old. So now she's a teenager. And this sweet, sweet little patient, I remember the day I met her. She was sitting in her wheelchair and her mom was alongside her. And so to get to know her a little bit, I brought in a clipboard with a bunch of bright colored Post-it notes, yellows and pinks and greens, and a marker. And each Post-it note had a little prompt on it. It said maybe I am, or I believe or I miss, or I want to, things like that. And we just sat and talked about patients' favorite artist, which is Taylor Swift. I think it still might be. And then her and her mom filled out these Post-it notes. And from that, I used a song by Taylor Swift and I turned it into her own song. And then with the help of her, she helped rewrite the song exactly how she wanted it. And this song became her power song in the hospital. We sang it alone. We sang it with her. We sang it without the child life assistance. It just became her power song. And I would be so happy to share that, because she did let us know that we could do that.
Awesome.
That's what I believe. I love to dance and laugh. Smart and really brave. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. I keep cruising. Can't stop, won't stop moving. It's like I got this music in my mind. It's gonna be alright. 'Cause I really, really miss my family and all of the people on my street. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. Shake it off, shake it off. 'Cause I'm working back on, get back on my feet so I can dance, dance, dance to the beat. Baby, I'm just gonna shake, shake, shake. Shake it off, shake it off. And when you at my show and watch my show glow. That's what Taylor says. That's what Taylor says. I love to dance on on my own. I'm dancing on my own.
I love in this video how you met the patient and the client where they were at and how you got her so involved in creating that song. So it wasn't just about listening to that song, but it was about using her words, her thoughts, her experiences, her feelings where she was at in that moment to create this song and couple it with Taylor Swift's song where she already feels this excitement and this joy and happiness when she hears it. And now utilizing her words and her experiences to create this finished product. I think that is just an incredible, incredible tool that she was able to use in the hospital setting.
And
Absolutely.
definitely knowing this child as well, too, from when you first met her to kind of her progression through her healing, through her post-hospital journey, you helped place those pieces of courage in her heart, in her body. And she is such a courageous young woman today. I mean, like to see the growth and the capacity and to know kind of the aspects of building that you can work with from a sound modality, from a support modality, and taking those pieces of interest and connection and self that they already come to the table with, no matter whatever type of injury, and kind of inserting them into their healing with a sense of play and creation and just courage that you made.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I remember times where she had a song that she would always sing with mom. And she had a song that she would always sing with dad. And I remember one day she had been in surgery and pretty heavily sedated, where I went in with the child life specialist and just played some instrumental music. So some finger picking, some quiet music. And I was going to leave the room and I saw her reach her hands out and she said, "Don't leave." And so you can see the power of how music touches that patient in the moment. And we don't know how it will express in their little minds, especially when they're sedated. And but we're just able to read and again follow their lead.
Very, very connecting oriented. So how might a burn survivor or loved one access music therapy supports in healing? Like how might they be able to get in touch with someone like you? And this is speaking for individuals, who are listening from outside of our areas. Like how might you find a music therapy professional or someone that could provide those resources? But even for individuals that are local to here, how might they be able to connect with someone like you? We would obviously love to, with Change by Fire, support some of that modality here, but what can you tell us about directing people to music therapy services?
Yes, absolutely. We do have an Arizona Music Therapy Association here, right here in the Phoenix area. And that website is azmta.org. And that has a list of all the board certified music therapists in the area. And you can always, again, contact me as well. And you can feel free to share my Gmail account or anything like that. But I think that would be a great stepping stone for the Arizona Music Therapy Association.org has a list of all the different music therapists and kind of what we specialize in.
Oh, I love that. Now, is that similar to state? Does each state have a music therapy like?
Yeah, we have a nationwide one as well, but
Okay.
each state tries to have their own as well. So people from the area can access music therapists that are near them, although some music therapists do work remotely as well.
Okay, beautiful. Great resources to know.
Well, thank you so much, Cindy, for just your healing presence, all of your insights in regards to healing music therapy, and everything that you do to obviously come alongside burn survivors and their families and help them heal from their injury and their trauma. Music therapy is truly so unique. As we've kind of seen, it doesn't take a one path. There's a lot of different paths that it can take. And I just love just learning more about it and seeing how we can utilize music, obviously on the outside, to create that inside change. And I'm excited to, further support how we can work together with you at Change by Fire to create some different opportunities for burn survivors to utilize that music therapy as well.
Absolutely. I would love to do that.
Yay. Well, and as part of each of our podcast episodes, we really like to provide our listeners with a takeaway skill or technique. Usually it's related to whatever theme, whatever we're working on, something maybe our guest speakers have focused on. So thinking along the lines of music therapy. Oh, look, and she brought an instrument right with her too. I was going to ask you if you would be willing to share, an intervention or activity or something music therapy related that might be helpful for an individual in healing.
Absolutely. I think today maybe it would be nice to just hear a little bit of music and walk through a very small gratitude meditation. And so I just invite everyone to just get comfortable wherever you're at. If you can lie down, feel free to do that. And this will last a couple minutes, 2 to 3 minutes as we go through it, and just to relax and to soak in as many of the words as you want. But if you just feel like relaxing, again, that's your choice as well. So just relax and enjoy. Follow the sun, which way the wind blows when this day is done. Breathe in the air. Set your intentions. Dream with care. Tomorrow is a new day for everyone. Brand new moon, a brand new sun. Follow the sun, the direction of the birds, the direction of love. Gratitude is like a miracle vitamin for your body, your mind, and your soul. So today, let this meditation heal whatever needs to be healed in this moment. I invite you to close your eyes and place your hands over your heart center and take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and gently exhale. Feel any tension beginning to melt away as you gradually relax, deeper with each breath. Now bring your awareness to the top of your head and imagine the warm sun shining down on the top of your head and illuminating to your toes. Imagine this warm light washing over you, surrounding and protecting you. Now take a few more deep breaths. And as you do, reflect on all the things you are grateful for in this moment. As each gratitude appears, visualize yourself saying thank you and try to have an image of each gratitude. If it's hard to come up with any gratitude, simply focus on your breath and thank your body for being present for this meditation. Continue taking breaths of joy and gratitude as we complete our relaxation exercise today, you can remain in this relaxed state anytime you want and repeat this to honor your body, your mind, and your spirit. Breathe. Breathe in the air. Cherish this moment. Cherish this breath.
You have such a soothing voice.
Thank you.
I am very relaxed right now.
I know, I'm like, I already felt warm because it was kind of warm in this room, but now I'm really warm and sweating because like my body just the level of like settling with like the sounds and the images and just thinking on just like those grateful, warm things in my life. What a gift. What a gift you give.
That helps. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for inviting me here today.
You are very welcome. So part of alternative healing is thinking outside of the box for additional supports that can further our sense of understanding, growth, and connection. And we have an alternative support we will be shifting and moving into our podcast journey next season that we'd like to share with you today. As we continue to grow and expand the reach and impact of Change by Fire, I have decided to transition off the podcast platform to focus on some of these invaluable community reach efforts to help serve the needs of survivors all over the world. So I'm sure I'll be back on from time to time to share some updates on what we are working on at Change by Fire and what we have in store for you. So that leaves Lori to continue the podcast platform with additional topics with your support and your effort and input.
And starting this next season, we're actually going to be connecting further with burn survivors, family members, those really changed by fire in the community, and inviting them as guest hosts of our podcast, which is a really cool spin on how and where we're moving forward. So this allows for additional sharing of stories, insights, modalities of support and care, and just really ensuring that this podcast work continues with you, our listeners, and your needs at the forefront. And our first podcast co-host, some of you may remember her voice and really herself, although we didn't have camera at that time as a part of our podcast, so you may not know her in person, but Jen Severance is a burn survivor in our Arizona community. She was in Season 3, Finding and Living Your Story, which aired in October. And she spoke around sharing and connecting and just really bringing that authenticity and that voice and that embracing yourself in your recovery journey. And she's going to be our first guest co-host. So stay tuned for more. There is so much growth and healing yet to come on the horizon within this podcast and within Change by Fire itself. So until next time, be mindful of your head and heart space needs. Explore the soundscape, the musicscape of your healing journey. Allow yourself to work with your emotions, your needs, your sensations as you can, and let music, let tone, let sound lead you through your story. We'll see you all next time.
Bye for now.